everybody for jumping back in. Salute to all the HBOs and the SGs out here. Shout out to No Sleep Nation. Let's go. Still setting up over here. Appreciate your patience.
A ton of football, so it'll be great video to evaluate. I mean, it's going to be, it's sitting. I put it in the category significant, but really till we get all the scans and the full diagnosis, I don't have a timeline.
You talked before he played really well for you in this camp. You liked what he was
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Neville's. I mean, you talk about players taking a second-year jump. I mean, he definitely illustrated that. From you can see it in the spring. So had a great off season. Was having a great camp.
Let me know in the chat box if y'all can hear him.
From Neville to Sean, you had 3 or 4 happen in quick succession in the course of the game. Like, do you have time to process that? Like, man, we're kind of going through a rash right here, or is there too much else going on?
No, definitely. I mean, that's especially preseason. I mean, a big part of my focus is play time for players. Trying to make sure we're all on the same page. You want to see different combinations of players. Yes, so anytime you have that many injuries. I mean, obviously it disrupts everything. It's you feel terrible for the individual, but that's that's to me then always the priority of preseason games, because if you can practice every day together and playing these games together, your team will improve. And so it's just unfortunate those guys suffered those injuries. I saw production in the drives. I thought we were able to establish drives. I think Garrett totally was knocked out of rhythm some with the snaps, and I think it carried over to some of his footwork and throws. So Cooper did a nice job. He moved the ball when he was in there, and Ben had a nice drive there for the touchdown, and made the big play with his feet. So which he needs to do more of. So I thought those guys were productive. I think when I look at the game, for as much time we spent on the end of game situations, and this is our first opportunity to win the game in a stretch. This is, to me, this is a great illustration of what the regular season is going to be like. So I'm looking for some ROI as what we've invested in the end of the game. So we'll definitely learn from this opportunity.
On that topic, you seem to really lean into situational football. Obviously, you did camp, but tonight you guys took the lead. Keep Hardy, 5 straight runs, and then you had 2-minute drill, called a timeout there to simulate icing the kicker. I'm sure you had fun with that, but what did that final several minutes of the game you think do for the team?
I mean, just to be honest with you, it was definitely an area coming from last year that we need to greatly improve on. So, and I think anytime you see, I would think any coach, when you have an off season, you evaluate the things you want to do. We all have the same amount of time, but end of game situations is something that was a primary focus for us. So, just trying to take advantage of the game situation, live action to just simulate what we've been practicing.
Why wouldn't Randy Gregory here?
Randy, Dalton Schultz, we had a group of players that we put into an injury category. We had sent them straight to Dallas from Oxnard, just to obviously to eliminate extra flight and so forth. So they're back there getting treatment.
What was Randy?
Randy's just been dealing with a foot. Yeah, he has a foot. Dalton has an ankle.
It ain't good.
At camp, obviously, Connor Williams needs reps at center if he's going to do it.
Yep.
What was beyond just wanting to get in reps, was there more of a thought process to putting him out there for the
No, just really, I was more worried about his play time. So the fact of was the probably really was a discussion that went on the last 48 hours. Just his snaps at center were the primary objective for Connor. So I wasn't as worried about how many reps he got at guard. It was really a decision to let him go first. Well,
They
I mean,
whispering
we're
to him.
obviously,
Talk up.
We have a number of guys that we need to get evaluated tomorrow, so I'm sure we're going to have some discussions. Hopefully the injuries aren't as severe.
What's it like just psychologically on the sideline? I know you don't want to get too caught up into it, but it was just one after another with the injuries.
Hardest part of the game. I mean,
Part of the game,
clearly,
man.
When that happens, but it's hard not to think of the individual for what they put into it, but it's part of the game. I mean,
Right.
it's part of the adversity of the game, and it's part of the opportunity of the next guy stepping in there and next man up. So these are all things you have to deal with and prepare. I mean, adversity is a big part of our game, and that's definitely probably one of the tougher spots.
From a lay person's point of view, it seems like Danucci rose off his back foot a decent amount, but I was curious, is that something that you've seen him do or not really at all? You get the arm.
I mean, I think you have to look at the whole picture. Is he throwing off his back foot when he shouldn't be, or is he throwing off it because there's pressure off the edge? There's a lot of pressure in this game tonight, and I think it started early, particularly against our offense. So we picked it up some in the second half. So I mean, this is great work for the quarterbacks.
Thoughts on your defense tonight? It seemed like Dorrance and some of the young guys up front were around the ball.
Yeah, no, definitely. I really like the activity up front. Doors, played very well. Almost had a huge play there with the tip pass that almost went the other way. So, Bradley and I had the penalty, but you can see his juice was great. It's good to get him back out there. He definitely needed it. Just the big guys inside, Bo and Osa. So a lot of good. I'm looking forward to watching the tapes. There's a lot of good snaps.
How would you say the interior defense has matured this season? I'm talking like safety, middle linebackers, interior defense.
Well, we're maturing. I think I would say. We have a lot of new faces in there. So I mean, this is what we need. We need training camp. We need just to continue to work. This wasn't our best week, leading into this game. So we need to come out of this. We just got to rally, get healthy, and we need to have a better week of practice going into Houston.
What was, in terms of practice, missing?
Just wasn't very good this week. I mean, it wasn't. The Rams was a little sloppy, and last two days weren't very good. So, and I thought some of it carried over to into the game tonight.
Is it reaching the point where you're a little concerned about the center position and the difficulties you're having with the snap exchange and that thing?
Am I concerned about it? Yeah, I mean, anytime the ball's on the ground, it's of concern. I mean, that's the starting point. I mean, that's why you start practice every day with quarterback center exchange. I mean, it can't happen. There's no excuse for it. We could talk till we're blue in the face about it. So I mean, it has to be corrected. But more importantly, I mean, it's important for us to give Connor game day reps. Particularly with the guys that he would be in there with. So I was glad we were able to get him in there with the first line.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bring a few players in here a little bit.
Oh boy, sound like he's sad, man. Thanks, guys. To Rich Dalrymple telling Mike McCarthy to wrap that up. But
Good, how you guys doing?
shout out to 105.3 The Fan. This is who we listening to. Feel free to
I
go
think
to
anytime,
105.3 The Fan.
You're in the game. First drive is a 14-play drive, and it ends in a touchdown. You're doing something well. So, biggest thing for any quarterback that's in
Sound
is
like Kellen Moore
try
right
to
here.
put points on the board and keep the chains moving. I felt like did a good job of that. Had a
Gary
lot of guys
Gilbert.
making plays. So overall, felt a lot more comfortable than last week. Nice to get in the game last week and be able to work some things out. Have a week of practice, and then come back out here and put it to the show.
Is that Danucci?
Yeah, emphasis on training camp, making a 4-minute offense in the fourth quarter, a 2-minute drill late. How do you feel it was to get that experience in the situation?
Yeah, I think for me and all those young guys, majority of those guys out there were rookies and second-year players with me on that last 2-minute drive, and that's something that we work, 2 or 3 times a week in practice. So, unfortunate we weren't able to do it. I'll put that on myself. Got to make some throws, make some plays down there in the stretch, but none.
You're working hard to live a life.
How they gonna switch it over to commercial? They trying to fix this thing up. Let them get off commercial, and then we will see what they had to say about that. But Cowboy Nation, well, they fixed that plane while it's in the air. Shout out to 105.3 The Fan again. I think that was Danucci, and let's see, they're still on commercial break. So I don't know if the guy's going to do anything as it relates to like the post-game show. Normally they would have Jesse Holly or somebody out there. I believe Ari Timken, somebody. I forgot who will be the people that's hosting their version of the post-game show there. But neither here nor there. When they get the player back on, then we will click over to them. They're still on commercial break. However, the guys that stood out to me, we got to give shots out to Keanu Neal for making that play on the first series there. We got to give him a shots out to him. Shout out to number 11 still, because he was one of the guys that were flying around to the ball. So that front defensive looked pretty good so far. Through the series of the front four, 75 stood out, as well as number 98. And, of course, Rondell Carter, he did some things. And I'll be remiss to leave out number 92. He showed us some promises there. And, of course, Bradley and I. So we got some guys that made some plays. They just got to figure out a way to win, and not just win the game, but win on your individuals as it relates to turnovers, takeaways. I believe the offense kind of laid the egg for these first two games, right? The offense need to figure out a way to punch it in, score quicker, and to get in rhythm faster. So hopefully, and I mean just that, when Dak Prescott get under center, we'll see a well-oiled machine. Mobile says 43. Yeah, 43 did his deal too. He showed up. A nice spin move was special. He just got to, I don't know, that's just going to be a bang-bang play. That's going to happen, and they're going to call that play every time, unless you're the Cowboys, right? You get hit in the face all the time as a Cowboy. They ain't going to call it. But if you are the opposing team and you spin and you hit the quarterback and you graze the quarterback helmet, they're going to call that 9 times out of 10. That's just how that goes. I hate to say it that way, but Anah did that. I'm going to try to tune back in when they get back live. Neal was always looking good when the pads come on. P, yeah. Neal looked good when the pads come on. I was telling people that when Neal was getting burnt by the running backs in training camp and the wide receiver that line up inside the slot and the tight end, I said, but wait till those pads come on when he can actually hit. And he be letting up on the guys in practice because he don't want to hurt his own players. So, yeah.
I think that dilemma's over.
I have watched it again. I do my homework. Appreciate you, Aubrey. Appreciate you so much for watching it again. Too inconsistent. Neal is going to start. Are you talking about over like Jalen? We saw the starting lineup today. It was Parsons, right? LVE, right? And it was as well as Jalen Smith. That's who they're going to roll with, Cowboy Nation. I'm just mad Jabril Cox had him one. He had him one. Jabril Cox had him one.
We have to address that backup QB position. If anything was to happen to Doc, we are in big trouble.
Caston, appreciate you so much for your love and adulation for the nation. Is Dak Prescott a bust?
In the main cabin.
Is Dak Prescott a bust? They're still fixing the house over there on 105.3 The Fan. So I'm waiting to hear the rest of the interview with DiNucci and whoever else player they're going to speak to tonight. Is Dak Prescott a bust? The Jones have made their mind up of not bringing in a legitimate backup quarterback. And majority of the backup quarterbacks probably north of what they will be willing to pay. We would love to see this team. What was it? Was it Tyrod Taylor? Was he available at one point of time? We would love to see this team, even with somebody who had the heart like number 15 of the opposing team that we played today. Shout out to DiNucci for showing us something. And I'm not trying to sully or denigrate Cooper Rush and Garrett Gilbert, but they played timid. They played like they were scared. They didn't play inspired. They didn't want it. They wasn't hungry. DiNucci got out there. He started running the ball, at least sliding when he got the first down, or jumping out of bounds.
877-881-1053. A lot of injuries from this game. We also just heard from Mike McCarthy, who mentioned Randy Gregory and Dalton Schultz, who traveled straight from Oxnard to Dallas to get treatment immediately. Gregory with a foot injury. Schultz dealing as well in this game. Ty Nsekhe, the swing tackle, left the game with a knee injury. Neville Gallimore, maybe the biggest injury here with the elbow injury. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network.
What did I say about Ty Nsekhe? I think it was earlier this week. I told a lot of people, I said, man, he just collecting check. He's stealing money from the Joneses. Because we saw him out there in practice. That old man, I hear the old man knees. My knee. Oh, no synovial fluid going through there. I knew something wrong with Ty Nsekhe. He was just trying to say, man, if I can just make 2 preseason games, I can get this check.
Unscathed, but there was nothing real bad. Even Dak's shoulder, I think it's apparent that that's going to be fine. So sooner or later in football, this is going to happen. Now, the word that I just heard you use, hyperextension, that's a good word.
Yes.
Because what people have to remember is we're talking about almost 4 weeks, if my math is right, until they
Geno
open
Atkins.
Tampa. And is that right? 1, 2, 3. That's close to 4.
Yeah.
And so that with a hyperextension, he might miss it. Barry, correct me, but he might miss a couple of weeks of practice, but he should be back on the practice field in time for the Tampa game.
Exactly.
Well, he got to get in football shape, though. He got to get in football shape.
And, you know, McEwen, you just have to wait and see and be hopeful. He was one of those guys who looked like he was going to come into his own and have a spot as the third tight end, and he was having a great camp. Hopefully that's not too serious. And Nsekhe, Nsekhe was not good, I didn't think, in Canton, but he was much better tonight. And he's a guy, I thought he was a good player in Washington for the 4 years he was there. And that's the kind of guy who can really help you as a veteran swing tackle. So you got to sweat that one out, and the same with Malik Turner. But, Ari, when a door closes, a window opens, and that's why what Semi Fehoko was able to do tonight was important for him. I don't have any idea how he did, if he was even on special teams. We'd have to look at the tape. But to me, and what do I know, but to me, it was between Turner and Fehoko for the 6th receiver spot, and so that'll bear watching.
Yeah, you hate to see those injuries, especially in a preseason game.
Barry Church, we put you on the radio for one night, and you lost your voice.
It's crazy. It's crazy how this thing's happening.
Take you anywhere.
Oh no, Barry! How you gonna lose your voice,
my voice, man?
I promise
you,
you,
gotta get him off.
He sounds fine
during the break.
This is remarkable.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's going right now. But I want to dive into our
lemon
secondary
juice,
a little
Barry.
bit right here.
Yeah.
Who did you think? Not who did you think, but what did you think of the play of our young third round
Dracula.
pick, Noshawn Wright out there?
Well, I thought it was good. I mean, to me, I said at one point, okay, he made the team. He does some stuff on teams. He's long. He seems to know what to do with the length. He changes. I think he changes. You could tell me better, but it looks to me like, at least tonight, he changed some throws. The quarterback understands how long he is, and he's got to fit it in a different place to get it around him. And the other thing I like about him is that he's a really good tackler. I like that about all these young defensive backs. I like that about Wright. I like it about Joseph. I like it about Mukwamu. They're all good tacklers. And to me, Noshawn Wright, I don't know if he'll be a dime back or if he'll be in the running to start at the beginning of the year. But to me, he's made the team, and I thought he was really pretty good tonight. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought the same. I thought he did a great job with his length out there. I mean, he at the line of scrimmage, he was pressing a lot on these receivers. And you see last week, he learned his lessons. He kept his feet moving because last week, Claypool took advantage of him on a deep ball. This time he was able to move his feet, use his length to kind of block that receiver out. And like you said, the quarterback has to put so much air on it because he's so long. It gives him an opportunity to catch up to the ball. So I was very pleased with what I saw from Noshawn tonight.
And what people have to remember, Barry, is we go into the draft, and all of the draft services say, oh, the guy's a 6th or 7th round pick. The
Right.
Cowboys thought he was a third-round pick. Some other people thought he was a fourth-round pick. But I know of a couple of pretty good defensive backs who nobody drafted, who played a pretty long time. 8 years, Barry Church?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we just put one in the Hall of Fame. And so what people think about where he was drafted doesn't mean anything once you get a uniform on and start playing games. And to me, and watching him every day in practice for a month, to me, he's cemented his spot.
Yeah, I agree with you on there. And another question I have for the second level, the linebacker level. What did you think about, because I was kind of confused about it, but what did you think about the early rotation? It seemed like it was Parsons, Keanu Neal, Parsons, Vander Esch. Then it was Parsons and Smith. What did you think about that early rotation?
Yeah.
Was it just getting the rookie a lot of reps, or did you think there was more to that?
What I have come to believe at watching every practice in Oxnard is that I don't know what I'm looking at. Because there are different kinds. Dan Quinn knows what he wants, and there are different combinations. And so last week they started with Parsons, Smith, and Vander Esch together, and tonight they started without Smith and Vander Esch, and they started Neal. And I thought Keanu Neal was really, really good in the first quarter. And Parsons, you saw his strength on the tackle that Neal was able to strip the ball free. So you can't kind of really figure out anything about how they're using those guys and what that means for how they're going to use them in the regular season. What I do know is that they're all going to play, and they're all going to play a lot. Quinn has some specific packages in mind. And then meanwhile, Neal looks like a really good player, and I still think Jabril Cox is going to be a young guy who's going to keep coming and keep coming. I think he's one of those guys who's better in games than he is in practice. And Luke Gifford's had a good summer, so they have some depth at that position, I think.
Mention 43. Come on, y'all do it. Do it,
Fred, who are their 5 best offensive linemen?
This is a good question because we know who 4 of them are.
Right.
Yeah. And, you know, Brian brought us, and I know you and Brian talk about this all the time, Ari, and he talked about it during the game tonight. I mean, Connor McGovern's had a really, really solid camp. And so the question that they will not answer for us, but I think is being examined is Connor Williams a better center? Can he be a better center than Tyler Biadasz? Because Biadasz, you know, can play center in both guards, and I thought Biadasz was good last year.
Yes, amen.
But Williams, there are some people who think Williams might be special if he's able to master the mechanics. And if that's the case, then there are some people who think that the answer to your question includes Connor McGovern. And so it would not surprise me, but we've got 2 more preseason games plus practices, and it bears watching. You cannot have snaps sailing over the quarterback's head or dribbling back on the ground.
Stick with Tyler Biadasz.
But if Williams he's never done it.
Yeah.
So if he's able to master it, he's certainly smart enough to be able to handle everything. And it might very well be that Williams and McGovern turn out to be better than Biadasz and McGovern, but Connor Williams is going to have to prove that, and he'll get an opportunity.
Thank you, Brad. Safe travels.
Okay, guys. Good to have you with us, Barry.
Appreciate
get your
it,
voice
Brad.
back. Hot tea.
Yeah.
Hot tea.
I'm going to get this voice right.
All right, buddy. Attaboy.
Batman.
Attaboy.
We got Batman. Call him Batman.
The great Brad Sham joining us here on the post-game show. A lot of interesting stuff there. Of course, the comment on I don't know what I'm looking at defensively. It's perfectly stated because we were watching Barry, and you're like, I can't keep up with the rotation and what we're looking at, and what are they a nickel? Are they a dime? How many linebackers do they have? Is that a safety? Is it?
And I wasn't sure. Are they trying to confuse, people who were playing in the regular season? I didn't get it because they're
confusing everybody.
Everybody,
maybe even themselves.
It was wild because you usually try to get your vet starters in and out as quick as possible. But we didn't see Van or Jalen Smith until the third or fourth series. So it was a very interesting rotation. To me, I never seen anything like that. But there's always a method to the madness. Maybe Quinn got something up his sleeve that he'll force out there on passing downs, and hopefully Keanu Neal's part of it.
Academy Sports and Out.
All right, so while they go to commercial break, Cowboy Nation, let's not experiment in 2021. If you guys get what I'm saying, I know that no time is like the present, but I like the fact that Connor Williams turned the corner. But let's keep him right there where he's at now. And if you skittish on Tyler Biadasz, then then you should draft another center sometime later or just evaluate him. But if you really liking what you see out of Connor McGovern, let's not play around with this, Cowboy Nation. That's just my thoughts. Because when you try to do all of this, like you got 2 more games left, right? 2 more games left, and you trying to figure out something new with Connor Williams at playing center, although he can do it in practice. We talking about practice, but when it's a live game, that's the closest spot to your quarterback. Let me repeat, that's the closest spot to your quarterback. The center touches the ball not 99% of the time. The center touches the ball 100% of the time. And even, I don't care if he's Einstein on their front 5. But if he can't get that ball to number 4 and the ball's still over his head, or if he fumbles the snap and the momentum swing and the momentum shifts, think about this. Connor, he fumbled the snap trying to get it to Dak Prescott, and now everybody diving on Dak Prescott and he get hurt. Look, just because you got position of flex does not mean that you have to play in that certain position. Now, it's good in a pinch if Tyler Biadasz get hurt or something like that, and you can squeeze Connor Williams in that spot. But let's not roll up into the Buccaneers land thinking that you're going to have Connor Williams. Now, shout out to what he did against Aaron Donald. But let's not think that this was something that was happening 60 reps. I hyped up Connor Williams. Don't get me wrong. I was glad that he threw Aaron Donald around. But they didn't go up to each other for 60 times, man. Let's not get foolish. Shout out to Mike Tyson. Shout out to Shaq. Shout out to my dog, Errol Spencer, Arrows. But I might get hit him one time. I might get hit him one time with an object. But I can't get in the ring and sit there and say, well, yeah, I'm going to go toe-to-toe with those boys. I'm not finna say that, so let's just keep it real, keep it 100, Cowboy Nation. That's all I'm saying. It's still on commercial break. Gallimore, I read somebody comment and said, hey, let's keep the young guys going. I feel you on that, but I'm about winning games. Every game is important, Cowboy Nation. I can hear some of the Buccaneers fans that said, hey, let's not bring Sue into the mix. We got to develop our guys that we already got. No, they brought Sue into the mix because they said, hey, we trying to win a Super Bowl. So Sue and Vita Vea, whatever that man's name, Barrett, JPP, that's who we facing against. Yeah, Nashawn Wright is a beast. Yeah, I like what Nashawn did, but that was against the backup quarterbacks. The Colt McCoy wasn't out there when they put Nashawn out there the first time. I like what I was able to see, but I like to see him out there with the first team reps. I like to see him go against Christian Kirk a few times. We still got to develop these young guys, of course. But let's not crown them too quick. We got to figure this thing out. 56 did look good, yeah. But when I go back and watch this game several times, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on everything. But I do like his length. I do like his willingness to tackle. That's something that we were sitting there looking at it like, wow, even 35, he came down and field, and I said, man, it's been a minute since we've seen something like that. Bama fan said facts. Bucks bring the big boys. You know, they bringing it, man. They ain't sitting around saying, hey, Law 98, 9, 98, and 75 can play. Mar P, yeah, I feel you. They can play. So can Geno Atkins. So can Sue. You know, I'm quite sure when Ndamukong Suh was trying to go to the Buccaneers, I'm quite sure there's a Buccaneer fan that said, nah, we don't need him, man. He's long in the tooth. He's 33, 34 years old. We okay with the guys we got. No, they trying to win the Super Bowl, baby. They trying to create pressure. New broom sweep the floor good, but that old broom can get the corners. Now, 99 from my hometown, Natchez, Mississippi, I want him to shine much more than anybody else in the chat room. You know, his mama, look, to tell you how crazy this is, number 99, his mama babysit me. That's how close this is. So don't you think that I'm rooting for number 99? His mama babysit me. I got his number. I got his mama phone number in my phone right now. I want him to shine. I want Big Bo to shine too. I want 75. I want the boys to shine. I want Navell Gallimore, number 96, to get back to be ready to play. I want these boys to eat. But I want to win too. I don't want to be sitting there on the outside looking in. I remember and I recall the time that we could have got Calais Campbell. Everybody like, nah, we don't need him. He's too long in the tooth. Not saying that when he went over to Baltimore, they won a Super Bowl, but he was an impactful type of player. We got to look at it like this. We can't hold on to everything. We can't. We got to put some pressure on these boys.
Dust on some flavored vodka bottles.
Yeah, they still waiting on commercial break. And that's all I'm saying. I ain't talking at you, Marvin. I'm talking collectively, though. You one of my dogs, dog. 99 is the keeper law. Yeah, we want. Look, number 99, he played with Vach at the high school or what have you. So they close. I know Vach want him. Mr. Hamilton, yeah. But 40s too, yeah, law, man. Talk about the sky's the limit. Number 40, look, Nashawn Wright, I like all what he brings to the table. That dog mentality, being able to squeeze the player on the out of bounds. I saw that play. There was a cerebral moment, making the player get out of bounds. And then he said, wait, once he out of bounds, he can't be the first person to touch the ball. I didn't like that at all. I loved it. When we were doing the play-by-play, I loved that part of it. But Boss Man Fat, he got some homework to do tonight. Old Boss Man Fat got some homework to do. He got to understand you can't hold in this league. You can't hold. College you can hold a little bit, but not on this level. No. Yeah, and he got to get his head around, turn around, head around to the ball quicker. We do. So them jelly bellies should be gone by next week. Anthony Brown got to go. Quentin, yeah, you're right. Yeah. And I'm not finna classify Boss Man having a bad game because he didn't allow a touchdown on him, but still, he got to play a little bit better.
Play of the game. Thanks
Jabril
to
Cox,
Keanu
too.
Neal, the new 42.
New 42. He looks good. He looks good in the 42. I'm not going to lie. Like I said before, I thought that transition from safety to linebacker would be a little hard. I thought it'd be a little hard, but I mean, he's showing he can do it. He's showing that he can thud up in there in the trenches.
What about that is hard, going from strong safety to linebacker?
Because that strong safety, sometimes you get in the box. Sometimes you're in the box, but for the most part, you're deeper than the linebacker. So you let all that trench work, that, TE stunts, all those stunts that they do with the line and the linebacker, you let that unfold before you fall in there and make the tackle. 9 times out of 10, you don't have to deal with those big 300-pound linemen
the commotion,
in there.
right.
But the position he's at, middle linebacker, somebody's coming to get you in the run, whether it be a 300-pound guard,
they coming.
200-pound, whatever, 295-pound center. Somebody's coming to get you. And the way he's able to shock and escape these guys is impressive coming from his safety background. But overall, like I said, I think he is looking good. And I like what I saw from Jabril Cox as well. What do you think about Jabril? I mean, he showed his sideline to sideline ability. I think he can be a great cover linebacker for us. But do you think he can be like an every down guy?
I mean, that's what remains to be seen, right? I mean, coming out of college, that was the thing was he's kind of the opposite of Micah Parsons.
Yes, that was
Parsons
his
is good at the point of attack. Jabril Cox can play in coverage. We've seen that. I mean, everything we hear from camp and practice is like Jabril Cox. I don't know, and then he's a gamer.
He must be. He must be a gamer, and that's the way the NFL's going now.
Hey, not to throw any salt or shade at Jabril Cox today. Parson, if he was out there, he would have caught that interception. Parson changed his game a little bit in coverage, man. He wouldn't have ducked for that ball. Underneath, they were playing bracket coverage. I'm saying, doggone Cox, man, you're going to dip your head and let the wide receiver catch the ball. But he did, Jabril Cox did play good today. But shout out to Jabril, man.
You could save 15% or more on car insurance. So we saw Neville Gallimore leave this game with an elbow injury.
Yeah.
It was called by Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network a hyperextension of the elbow. Here is Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy on the Gallimore injury.
I mean, it's going to be, I put it in the category significant, but really till we get all the scans and the full diagnosis, I don't have a timeline.
That's not good.
Not good at all.
Anytime the coach immediately says significant category, and I mean, he was in a lot of pain.
You could see it in his face.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see it in his face. He was yelling in pain. And like you said, when a coach puts that significant tag on it, it's got to be serious because usually coaches are always trying to downplay something. Oh, it's not that bad. Always trying to downplay it. Oh, the shoulder ain't bad. We just get an MRI to check on it. Always trying to downplay it. But for him to just blatantly come out and say, hey, this is a significant injury, it sucks because, like I said, he was one of our main defensive linemen on the interior. I mean, look what you got behind him. You got Justin Hamilton, our rookie Odigizua, Carlos Watt. I mean, it's a lot of guys that are kind of unknown. I mean, I know we got Brent Urban in there from Chicago, who's a great run stuffer, but the rest of these guys are kind of unknown. So it's going to be interesting to see if it's that significant.
Tristan Hill.
What are we going to do about this interior D-line depth?
Yeah, brutal.
That's brutal.
I mean, it's not as if Gallimore is this great Pro Bowl player.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was having a good camp. I think he did some good things last year in his rookie year. There's a lot of excitement around him, and there's just not anything behind him. Like that's the piece to this that makes this so excruciating. Is you're just so thin. Oso Digizua did some good things.
He did.
He did some good stuff.
He's still young.
A little raw.
280.
That's a little light.
Right.
No.
And then you got Tristan Hill. I mean, he's coming off an ACL. Who knows how he's going to be out there? So it's a tough.
I didn't see Osa size being a problem. No, I seen it being a benefit because he can knife through there like a needle nose pliers. But I didn't see his size being a problem. He get thrown around a little bit, but he gonna win in the late quarters.
Depth right here that we have behind Gallimore.
It's got to be more discipline.
He's not an Aaron Donald. He's not like this amazing game changer. But I was looking forward to him making that second year leap. I think he had that ability, especially against the run. I mean, he clogs things up. He does great in that regard, and we need that, especially from how bad we were against the run last year. I mean, they gashed us. Everybody had a career year or career day against our defense last year when it came to the run.
Right.
So we just can't afford another loss to that. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully his injury isn't that significant. But we'll see once we get these scans.
Jerry McCoy
talks about now
is on the Raiders
Geno
now.
Atkins, former Cincinnati Bengals.
He's still out there.
33 years old,
okay.
8-time Pro Bowler, coming off a shoulder injury. But yeah, he's out there.
He's out there. McCoy just got picked up, so he's
going to the Raiders.
For us.
You got to start wondering.
Yes,
the Cowboys usually not doing much in free agency, but I mean, desperate times at this point.
Call for desperate measures.
Very, very thin in the interior of that defensive line. 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053. The Cowboys fall to the Arizona Cardinals. This is a team they're going to see on January 2nd of 2022 in the regular season. Way at the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
But they fall in this one, 19-16. Standout performances from your vantage point here, Barry.
Well, I got to start with the big dog, Dorrance Armstrong. I mean, I feel like he played his best game as a Cowboy right now. He had immense pressure throughout the game. We saw him with the 2 sacks, got his hands up past breakups. And a lot of the times, that's not what we were doing last year as far as the D-line. We weren't getting our hands up a lot, and that causes a lot of tip passes. It causes a lot of takeaways. So it can help your defense out. So I like what I saw from him as well. Like we mentioned earlier, Keanu Neal, he was all over the field as well. Stripping the ball, hitting, very physical. And lastly, in the secondary, I liked what I saw out of Noshawn Wright. I mean, we talked about with Brad earlier. He's long. He can use that length. I know everybody.
He's been impressive.
He's been impressive.
He's been impressive.
Everybody was talking about, I'm the the new Richard Sherman, but he seemed impressive. He's using his length. He's starting to understand that he can use that sideline as a friend. He's on that outside corner for a reason. He can use that sideline as his friend and use his length. And if he can get a hold of that, he can be a pretty good corner in this league.
What are the things you're looking for when you're evaluating that play, that position?
That position specifically, I'm looking at your press. I'm looking at how, when you line up against one of these elite receivers or any receiver out there, how do you move your feet? Because a lot of these young defensive backs, they can get away with it in college. But when you get to the league, if you don't move your feet when you're pressing and you just reaching with arms, these guys are going to teach you a lesson. You reach, they teach.
Bye.
You're out of there. You're even, you're leaving. We saw it last week with
Even
Claypool.
you're leaving,
He was leaving. So he taught him a lesson. And what I love about Wright is that he took that lesson, learned from it, got to this game, and you can see every deep ball they tried on him, because they tried him a couple times on that deep ball. He was all over it. He was all in their hip pockets, using his length. So I like to see he had a short-term memory, learned from last week. Hopefully he continue to progress during this preseason.
Great evaluation by
I want to
Church.
evaluate all the rookies. This was a good game from a defensive perspective on their rookies. 8 of the 11 picks are defensive players in this previous draft. I mean, we've talked about Parsons. We just can't say enough about, like, he's a really good football player.
He is.
Like, the Cowboys, we'll talk for years about whether they should have taken Rashawn Slater or whatnot, but they hit at number 12 with Micah Parsons. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah, they hit without a doubt. And some guys are workout warriors. You know, some guys will go to the combine, run 4 threes, lift it 25 times, and do all this great stuff. But when you get to the field of play, you just don't see that. But with this kid, I mean, that 4-3, you can see it on the field. His strength, you can see it on the field. The way he's able to throw linemen around, the way he's able to get under there and get those form tackles. I think this guy, if he can stay healthy, 17 games, long games, if he can stay healthy, I think this guy can be special.
What impresses you the most about him?
Just his physicalness.
Yes,
and just the way he plays the game. There's no loafing, as Marinelli used to say. There's no loafing around. There's no indecision. If he's wrong, he's doing it 100 miles an hour. And that's what you love to see. Like, even if, you know, he hit the wrong gap or he hit the wrong pass drop, he's doing it at 100 miles an hour to where he's going to make chaos wherever he goes. And I love to see that from our young linebackers.
It's really important for a linebacker to be around the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And that's all we saw.
That's all we see with him.
All we see. Who's at the bottom of the pile? There's number 11. Who's over there raking at the ball? There's number 11. I mean, you'd love to see it. And he's a rookie doing this.
Yeah.
A rookie doing this. So it's extremely impressive. I mean, what do you think about his early play so far in these first 2 games?
The number one thing that stands out is he's always around the ball.
There it is.
Around the ball.
I mean, and that's
Fumbles
like,
there, he was there. Close to
the best thing you could say about a linebacker is that.
That's it.
You want a guy that's always around the ball, and it's just so impressive how he's able to play everywhere.
That's it.
And
as a rookie, too.
Yeah.
He's able to comprehend what he has to do, because you don't see a lot of busts in him. I mean, like, they put him at D-line. He's doing what he has to do, setting the edge, rushing the passer. They put him at linebacker at the off. He's in his gap. He's where he needs to be. And he's not a liability in the pass. And I think that's what hurt us a lot last year, were our linebackers versus these scout running backs versus these guys that come out of the backfield. They seem to be liabilities out there in the
like
coverage.
A string.
Yeah, and it was pretty rough for a while. And you know, that's where we talked about it earlier. That's where the NFL's going now. They're going to a more spread offense. So you got to have linebackers who can run and who can cover in the open.
What about Kelvin Joseph?
Kelvin Joseph, to me,
break it down.
I think he has the most potential out of all these young defensive backs. I love his swag, how he's out there. Nothing seems to affect him. He gives up a pass. He might give up or back down a pass. Nothing seems to affect him out there. He has that short-term memory, and he seems to roll with it. And I love the fact that he's willing to tackle. There's a lot of guys out there who make business decisions when it comes to tackling, especially at the corner position.
I know what play he's talking about, too.
I played with a lot of those guys, but he seems to have no fear.
You've had to clean up a lot of those.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of ankle biters out there. Oh, come on, my guy. You just going to leave me in the open field like that? I'm not going to say no names, but there was a lot of those guys. But
oh, my God. I know who he's talking about, too.
He seems to want to go in there and put his nose in there. He loves the physicality about that. So that kind of makes him a complete corner, and you love to see that out of young guys.
Do you think Wright is ahead of him at this point from what you've seen?
Not from what I've seen. I mean, Wright, he had a good game today. You know, they tried him a lot. They didn't try Kelvin Joseph as much as they tried. Right? He had a solid game. But then there was last week when he gave up the deep ball to Chase Claypool. So I would say, you know, they're not far apart. Maybe a 1A, 1B situation, because they both tackle well and they both seem to be able to cover the deep ball as well too. So overall, I still got to give Kelvin Joseph the slight advantage over No Sean Wright, but it's a close one.
Yeah.
It's a close one.
Man, my God.
Dorrance Armstrong, you mentioned him. What a performance he turned in. Let's take a listen to what Dorrance Armstrong had to say after this one, where he had 2 sacks.
Defensively, what you were able to do tonight individually and getting to the quarterback, and you've had a pretty good camp, and then for it to show up like here.
Just been putting in the work for this, man. My number got called up, and I was able to go out there and make plays, execute the plays that the coach called, and just fly around and have fun.
The explosion, or just what would you again work hand usage? Like, what do you think is kind of maybe the difference of
everything, man? My get off, my awareness, my hands, just more aware of being a better player, student of the game. It's just all making sense now.
It's slowing down for him finally.
You put yourself under some pressure to have a good season, to make the kind of impact that you want to make.
Absolutely.
Secure yourself in the
Absolutely, man. I got big dreams for this game, man, and I was
Easy was good tonight, Williams.
I'm not trying to call it easy, but we've been through 3 seasons, 4th year playing in a preseason game. How much slower does the game feel? How much more confident do you feel in a setting like this?
Out the roof, man. Being able to start for a preseason game and actually know what I'm doing, and not just out there playing like situations and being aware of everything, it makes me more alert.
Dorrance Armstrong talking right now.
Dorrance, Coach McCarthy said he didn't think you guys had a real good week of practice, starting with the Rams up until, I guess, 2 days ago. Did anything feel any different that you thought made him say that?
As a team, our energy was kind of down during the week. The last practice wasn't expected for what we did, but we had to flip the switch and be ready to play.
Tank hasn't been available to this point in the preseason. Basham wasn't out there tonight. How far have you come just in a leadership mentality role with the time that you've been here?
Man, it came up on me so fast. So those 2 guys, man, when they're here, they bring energy, and I feed off their energy. So now that they're gone, I kind of have to step up and, bring that energy for the team, the defense, and the D-line especially. We got a lot of young guys that need that, so I kind of try to bring that to the table.
Good answer.
Also was talking about your special teams ability a couple of days ago. How much pride do you take in that? What's the approach have to be? He was talking about going from playing special teams to have to flip the switch and be on defense. What's that approach have to be?
Man, I love playing special teams for Bones. That's where it all starts at. And I'm just excited to play for him. I'm pretty sure the rest of the guys are too. The game plan that we install and just trying to execute everything to have explosive plays on special team, get returns on the kickoff return and punt return, and even be effective on punt. Go block a punt or something, make something changing the game.
That is the Cowboys' 3rd-year defensive end from the University of Kansas, Dorrance Armstrong. 5 tackles, 2 sacks in this one. He was impressive.
Impressive.
As the Cowboys followed the Cardinals 19-16, and they starting to look like they have a little bit of depth at the defensive end position, Barry.
Because we've yet to see Randy Gregory.
Right.
We've yet to see
the man needs behind the team.
Tank out there.
Right.
And we got another guy coming off the edge. His juice was definitely on high tonight. And I don't know if it's he has a better understanding of the playbook or, like he said, the game is starting to slow down for him, but he just seemed way more decisive than he was last year. And he looked like he had a lot of an array of pass moves or pass rushing moves out there. So you love to see that. He must be taking some lessons from D-Law or Gregory or something, because you love to see that. But the biggest thing I loved from him is his attitude, the love for special teams. Because that people,
your eyes lit up when you heard him say that.
I loved it because people don't realize, man, teams, they might not win or lose you every game, but there's at least 2 or 3 that it's like, man, if we had better teams in this situation, we would have came through. Look at the New England game a couple years back. There's things that, on the special teams, for people to take pride in that, it's huge. It's huge. And it just goes to show you the coaching that Bones is doing out there. He's getting those guys to have belief in his special teams and have belief in his system, and they're willing to run through a wall for him. So it's great that he has that attitude to go along with how he's playing as a defensive end out there. I like what I see from Armstrong.
That's Barry Church. I'm Ari Temkin. This is the Dallas Cowboys post-game show. Plenty more to come, including, I think, maybe the biggest discussion point so far.
What's that?
Of the entire preseason and training camp slate. That's next. Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, they've had to talk about Dak Prescott. All right, so first and foremost, man, let's give a round of applause, man. Let me put your hands together for Barry Church. Barry Church, man. Barry Church for 105.3 The Fan right now is super clutch right now. And he's providing great analysis, great breakdown of all players. And he's not heavy on one end or the next. He's objective with his thoughts. And he's just not powder puffing this thing out, man. And shout out to him, man, for just helping 105.3 The Fan out with his raw analysis and his up tempo. I just wish that his lemon juice and some honey and some hot tea or some hot water will open up that throat area so that he can get things going. But he's hoarse a little bit right now due to the fact that maybe he was streaming at the game and things like that. He's a very passionate guy. So, man, he's super clutch, man, right now. And this is a gem for the Cowboys organization at 105.3 The Fan to hear from a defensive perspective. And, of course, Ari is doing a wonderful job as well. So be sure to check out his independent podcast and help support Barry Church. He was on a show with us, me, Skywalker, Big Game James, on the Late Night Hype. When we was doing that, he was on there, and he spoke good stuff, man, real good stuff. So Barry Church for the win for tonight. And when they get back, I can't wait to hear what they're going to talk about for that. Yeah, he's Batman Silver, Ancient. Yeah, he's Batman. Yeah, church, man. Y'all having church on a Friday right now. Now it's a Saturday morning. But Cowboy Nation, we think about all of the things that he lamented. I think this defense is going to be okay. The parts that we are looking at, the nature of only the sample size of number 11 for like 2 series, 3 series, and he's always around the ball. Always around the ball. 42 there as well, knocking the ball out, laying the wood. 35 playing with an edginess to himself. This team is different. 75 getting down low, getting upfield. The way that they attack and approach the ball, even Dorrance, Armstrong. Man, making plays. And I know this preseason, but what I look at it as, I look at it like these guys making plays now, but can you imagine the starters playing for 4 quarters? And I'm quite sure Parsons, when the game have not slowed down for him yet. The game have not slowed down for Parsons yet. Just let that sink into your mind, like the temperaments of the game and the flow of the game. He have yet to get into that groove. 56 as well, Oscar. Yeah, Oscar, yeah. He haven't got into the groove yet. Normally for defenses to get into the groove, 3rd and 4th quarter. Most turnovers and takeaways happen in the 3rd and 4th quarter. His speed is undeniable, yes. Speed, man, always around the ball. The assessment from Barry Church, man, you guys can just sit down and just listen to his words, man. And the way he broke down the players and the way they played. Yeah, Deshaun Wright, yeah, he's there. The way he learned the short-term memory. Y'all hear me say all the time, if you reaching, he's teaching, right? Hey, if he even, he's leaving. Y'all heard those terminology from me, and for him to regurgitate and spit those same things out, the sentiments that he spoke them out as, and using the sideline, the boundary as your friend. That's your extra help right there. You got inside leverage. Come on now. Redirect him. Force him back inside. That's what I want him to do with Claypool. Force him inside. You got help inside. You got your linebacker. You got your safety over the top. Use that boundary. Get physical with him. Try to squeeze him out of bounds as much as possible. Use that frame. And for him to come back the second week, man, to do that, man, come on now. He'll be ready. He'll be ready because we got to get him in tip-top shape just in case if week 1 he got to go up against the Evans kid. Who is a monster, by the way, with teeth that can bite. That Evans is nobody to play with, nobody to sneeze at. Chris, oh my gosh. Fast. We got our hands full, baby. We got to. So y'all let me know when the Buccaneers play their first preseason game because I'm going to be looking. I got to watch them. I got to figure out them all together, collectively speaking, by the way. Who's going to cover Gronk? Who's going to cover AB? We got to be ready, baby. There's no time to sleep.
Had a great game here, and, when you start to think about this rotation at defensive end.
They played today?
There's a lot
I watched it on rewind.
Last segment, Barry Church. No Randy Gregory so far in the preseason. No DeMarcus Lawrence.
Buccaneers played today.
They got after the quarterback today.
They did. They did get after the quarterback. And it wasn't just Armstrong out there getting after these guys. I mean, you saw a lot of guys getting pressure. I mean, we saw Odigizua. Am I saying that right?
I think you got it.
I think I did. Odigizua.
It's fun to say.
It is.
That's a fun one to say.
We saw him get in there as well. Bohanna got in there. Too bad it was a false start on that opportunity because that would have been a heck of a play.
Would have won the game.
It would have ended the game. It would have ended the game right there. So you hate to see that happen. Gave Arizona another chance to knock that field goal in.
6:30 they
were able
play,
to do it. But I like what I saw from our defense overall. Let me ask you a quick question. What did you think of your player to watch, Luke Gifford?
They played today. Yeah, you're right.
Not impressive.
Saturday.
Not at all.
No. Yours was Jarrell Cox. Mine was Luke Gifford. Cox was the one to watch.
Yeah, he was definitely. You could feel his speed out there as well. And Gifford, I mean, I just like to see him take that next step. I mean,
he was bad.
He's been here for a while. I just love to see because he's a good special teams player and he's somebody you got to have on your teams, but you got to perform better on the defensive side of the ball.
That's Barry Church. I'm Ari Temkin. Cowboys fall to the Cardinals 19-16, and we are very thankful that our buddy Brian Broaddus is still up.
Hey,
and he's joining us right here on the Dallas
Broaddus
Show. Broaddus, how are you?
Let's listen to Broad.
Man, you guys are interrupting one of the best turkey wraps I've ever had in my life.
You're the best, Broaddus. We thank you so much for jumping on with us.
Appreciate you guys. What's up?
Defense, there's a lot to like, isn't there?
Yeah, what was really interesting, guys, to me was, I kind of thought, Ari, and Barry, when we were doing the game against the Steelers, I was thinking, okay, where's this pass rush going to come from? Let's see where, let's see Basham, let's see Armstrong, let's see, all these guys that, the backup guys. Of course, you're not going to get Randy Gregory or any of those guys, but, or Tank, but, I was kind of expecting a little bit more. I thought tonight you got a little bit more pass rush, and I know
you did.
The Cardinals were compromised in their offensive line. They've had a lot of problems. I know, when we all prepped for them, for this game, it was like all they kept talking about were the problems they had at guard and tackle and stuff. But, that's what you got to do. You got to take advantage of teams that aren't very good at, the offensive line. And I thought that Dorrance Armstrong did a really nice job. I thought Bradley and I showed up a little bit tonight, too. And I know that he had penalty with the hands to the face. Well, heck, he had more than the hands to the face. He had hands to the face, helmet to the face. He had like all the things you can do to a quarterback.
Everything to the face.
Everything.
Yeah, everything
to the face.
And but I was encouraged by that because I haven't seen Bradley and I play football in like 2 years.
Facts.
And it just was nice to see him out there and have some pass rush moves and stuff. But I think there were some things defensively. I think with, when you start talking about, what's going to happen at corner, very early in that one, Kelvin Joseph, what the heck are you doing in coverage? Playing on your heels, got separation, all that stuff that you wouldn't want to do. It like happened to him that first time around on the route, kind of a curl that he had to cover.
Right.
He just didn't do a very good job. And then, the release against Kirk, I didn't think was one of his better plays either. The one that ball that went down the sidelines, it was a big play. But I wanted to see him get attacked a little bit. I wanted to see him get his nose bloodied, and I kind of felt like that was the case tonight. And Deshaun Wright continues to kind of show up when he needs to show up. And again, it's difficult when you have a corner that's tall, that long. For him to move around the way, he's not going to look like a 5'10", 5'11" guy moving around. He's a long guy, and kind of takes him a little time to get going and stuff. But I was encouraged for the most part by, some of those guys. I know that when you watch the tape, there's going to be probably a lot more guys that showed up. I kind of thought early in this game, too, that, Bohanna got handled a little bit more than I would like to have seen him, for that defensive
I got a
tackle
response
spot.
to
And then,
that one.
Gallimore getting hurt, how bad is that? And that's something that they're going to need. I mean, these defensive tackles going into the season, it was kind of like, okay, what's going to be the rotation? How are they going to play this? And, now you've got, Gallimore can potentially be out pending an MRI tomorrow.
Hey, what's up, Brian? I liked what I saw from our defensive line as well and our young secondary back there. I want to know your thoughts on what you thought from the transition that Keanu Neal's making from the safety to linebacker. How'd you feel he played today?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's actually living up to that number 42. That guy
Yes,
used to wear
sir.
that jersey. He used to,
Yeah.
used to punish people. He was always around the ball and making plays and stuff. And, I think you have to be, there was a time, Barry, really early in training camp when it wasn't pads. It was helmets and jerseys, and, the coverage was poor. And, he gave up some routes to tight ends. There was separation there. And then all of a sudden the pads came on at training camp, and he looked like a different guy covering. And then, you look at what he did today, knocking the ball loose, from the tight end. I thought was, that's a veteran type play. Him, Parsons, both those guys, getting over there, knocking that ball out. And that to me is the type of thing that you're going to have from a guy like that. He's going to play down, and better than anybody about playing down in the box. You can't be scared. You can't be scared. You got to go after it. You got to make plays. There's going to be times where you're one-on-one in the hole with running backs, maybe on the edge. You've got to make an open field tackle or fill a hole and stuff or play in coverage. And I think for the most part, he's done a pretty darn good job of that.
So, Broadus, clearly Connor Williams struggling snapping the football consistently at center, but McGovern, I've just loved what I've seen from McGovern. I mean, he cleared out a dude on a 3rd and 1.
Sure.
What do you do about this situation here?
I keep playing, and we're in preseason. These games don't matter right now, even though, if we were in week 2 and, trying to beat the Chargers in a game in Los Angeles and you have 2 bad snaps,
right.
Clearly you're not going to play him. But, like I told Christy Scales and Brad during the broadcast, I just feel like
Christy Scales.
You're committed to trying to find things out. And if it means putting your best 5 guys out there and he's one of your best 5 and potentially playing center, well, then, that's what you're going to have to live with that, And so I'm totally, as long as it's the preseason, as long as we're trying to figure some things out. But if you get a combination where McGovern and Connor Williams and those guys, and I'll be real honest with you, Connor Williams I was throwing dirt on him. I was trying to get him replaced, but he has been one of the better linemen that you've had during training camp. And so if that's the case, continue to work him. If you're really committed to it, working with him in practice. Don't make it something where he gets 5, 6, 8 reps in practice, and then it's like, okay, well, let's play him in the game. I mean, for him to start tonight, they're trying to search for something.
Yep.
And that gives you a pretty indication of that right now.
Yep. All right, Brian, let me ask you, as far as our backup quarterback situation, do you feel like Garrett Gilbert helped himself out tonight, or he kind of just stayed the same?
No, I think he did, Barry. I think I think they want Garrett Gilbert to get that job. Stephen Jones, as you well know, is he's the whole thing with Andy Dalton really fell in their lap last year, just because Andy in the pandemic, he's from Texas, he wanted to be at home near his family. You get a sweetheart of a deal because the guy wants to be home, and that's cool. But Stephen, he keeps telling us he doesn't have any money, and he doesn't have any money to go get a real guy. And, what's funny is you see a guy like Dwayne Haskins have a great night for, the Steelers last night. And you're kind of like, well, okay, well, where was the evaluation there? I'm sure they had him up pretty high on their board, but maybe they were hearing something that they didn't like with Haskins. I think Haskins is going to be just fine with the Steelers as a backup, to be honest with you. But that's the kind of thing. I think their eyes are still open to the possibility, if there's somebody on the waiver wire that kind of, tickles their fancy a little bit, I can see them, making that move. or I could just see the fact that, Kellen Moore and the coaches, and we all know how coaches are, they get comfortable with players.
Yes,
they don't
sir.
want to change. We don't want to have to teach our system to somebody else. And, in a way, that's kind of a bad attitude to have about it, but that's really what the attitude coaches have.
Brian Broaddus, you did a fantastic job tonight, brother. Go enjoy your wrap.
Yeah, you guys interrupt me next time on the turkey wrap thing. We're going to have some work, okay?
My bad, B. My bad.
We'll see you next week, buddy. Safe
All right,
travels.
sounds great. Thanks, boys. Appreciate you. Take care.
Yeah. My thing is my rebuttal on Bo. You getting pushed around, shoved around. Most big boys like that, that's okay. First quarter, second quarter, you gonna win. Offensive linemen, they don't rotate. Defensive linemen do. And that's why you saw in the latter part of the quarters, they was holding him because he was getting into the backfield. There's going to be, if the officials call this game right, there's going to be a lot of holding on number 98 and the combination of 98 and 75 because they get upfield so quick. And Big Bo, he got to be a little bit more disciplined into that. Oh, and the reason why I drink alkaline water is because of this right here, Nobel Peace Prize by Dr. Odo. So y'all look up that, alkaline environment and these sort of things. I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I'm just showing you guys, hey, probably make my beard grow. That's probably why I drink the water, the alkaline. But I want you guys to be healthy. So drink your water, regardless whether it's alkaline, as long as it don't come out of the faucets in Detroit land. I heard Detroit had bad water over there. So that's just how that goes, Cowboy Nation. Let's see where they at now.
Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Ooh,
Papa
Papa
John's.
John.
You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys.
Man, I'm telling you, Papa John's got the best sauces, that garlic butter. Oh, my goodness, man. Why he had to say Papa John's? Is there a Papa John's open 24/7?
Chomping on America's favorite meal.
Yeah, they're still on commercial break. Yeah. So, hey, what's good with you, man? 99 is playing well, Law. Yeah, Mark P. Yeah, look, I'm not trying to kick your boy out, man. Number 99 or Big Bo. I feel you, Mark P. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Yeah. Law of averages, holding calls, drop passes, bad decisions, etc. If your running back doesn't fumble the ball, running game is safe, relatively speaking. This is Fenstor. I hope I said your name right. You're right. This is the thing. The Dallas Cowboys got to understand that they damn near got to play perfect. They do. They got to play perfect. You can't look for handouts. You can't look for assistance. And if any good move happened to you or if something happened for you, then you just got to take it, celebrate it, but keep it moving. Because it's normally, as a diehard Cowboy fan, we've seen many of games where we was hosed on a game, bad play calling, touchdown, catch, no catch, all of that stuff. What can go wrong will go wrong. Y'all know how that thing goes. Murphy Law with the Dallas Cowboys, we've seen it, The Cowboys can't look for that. That's why I got mad at McCarthy talking about, hey, man, it's too hot to play and coach in Texas. Look, dude, roll up your sleeves. Let's get this thing going, whether it's outside perfect weather or not, because we're not going to get handouts. Cowboy fans, we're not going to get handouts. And the one time that they do give us something, oh, my goodness, ESPN, four-letter networks, NFL, Molly will be crying. Y'all know how this thing goes, that it's going to be, the Cowboys, see, they always get it. They always get it. No, we don't get it. Look, the catch, no catch rule. Dez Bryant, I know I hate to bring this up for most people. He caught the ball. We was right day one. Cowboy fans, we were all right day one. Dez caught the ball. It took them literally 4.5 years to say, you know what? Hey, he caught it. The Saints game, the Saints versus the Rams, the pass interference, what have you, it took them one off season to now you can challenge those plays. Y'all saw how that went? Let me know if I'm lying. It took them one off season to change and correct those rulings. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know. One off season and say, hey, we're going to have to fix this.
Here's to the
Now they're making PI. Oh, now you can challenge the PIs, But I know they went back forward, and back and forth with it. Now you can't do it. But there goes to show you that for the Cowboys, 4 years. Yeah. I mean, it's just how it goes with the Cowboys. We can't get nothing. We can't. Hand to the helmet. No. They'll beat the hell out of you, man. They'll beat the hell out of you on the field. Tony Romo stay get hit in the face. Hands to the helmet. He's spinning out of the situation. Late hits. Oh, that's Tony Romo, But you put a finger on Aaron Rodgers, thousands of flags. You put a finger, you barely touch Tom Brady, thousands of flags. Is Dez still in the league, Reggie? Not. Dez said he's literally going to try to come to every single Cowboys game until he gets signed by a team. So shout out to them. It's illegal for us, not for anybody else. Yeah, craziest thing to slow down momentum. Bryce Butler, of all people, too many people in the huddle. And he wasn't even all the way in the huddle. He was just looking in, trying to say, okay, do I come in? Do I come out? Flags out everywhere. We're like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. A team did the same thing a couple of weeks ago. The officials at least give them hey, man, you got to get out. You can't have, at least give a warning. We don't get the warning. We get the flag immediately. Oh, my goodness. Yo. But Dak, my thing is with Dak is wise. Dak got that smart mindset. See, Cam tried to complain. Hey, man, they hit me well out of the play, man. And the official said, hey, man, he's big enough. He continue to run. Don't do that, Cam. See, Dak Prescott can get his butt whooped. He just going to be like, man, I'm going to take it on the chin. Yeah, it's crazy.
They had to punt the football away with a minute left, and the Arizona Cardinals go down the field and put another 3 on the board, courtesy of Matt Prater, as the Cardinals kick their first preseason game this season and win the game 19-16. Cardinals now 1-0 in the preseason. Cowboys 0-2. But the good news is, Barry Church, they're halfway through their preseason schedule.
Halfway through it, yeah.
We're getting closer to the finish line. The regular season's around the corner, baby.
The player of the game in this one is Dorrance Armstrong. He was fantastic. There are a lot of different ways you can go on the defensive side of the football with this. But Armstrong, 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and we heard another one earlier. Here's another sack for
Colt McCoy, the number 2 quarterback for Arizona, up in the pocket, sacked again. At Dorrance Armstrong again, the second man through. Darian Thompson has taken a lot of credit, but that was Dorrance Armstrong again.
I said the
same
thing.
Second sack of the game. Dorrance Armstrong, the player of the game, brought to you by Pepsi, a proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Barry, I mean, again, the major piece here is we know this offense has the chance to be really explosive. We've seen a really stagnant, bad, hard-to-watch offense through the preseason.
It was brutal.
Brutal.
Defensively, there's a lot to build on. And it's the preseason. You're seeing very vanilla schemes, both offensively and defensively. We'll know 5-6 weeks from now how good this defense is, but there's some guys that there's some excitement building for them on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, there's definitely excitement.
Nucci did come to play, Albert. Yeah.
Coaches, you're grading on the basics. You're not grading on, are these guys making all this stuff? How do you tackle? How do you communicate out there? And so far, I feel like this defense has done a great job communicating. There's not a lot of busted coverages out there. There's not a lot of guys with their heads on swivels looking like, man, I don't know what the heck's going on, looking like deer in headlights. You don't see that. Like last year, we saw a lot of head-scratching moments. Now, I feel like they're tackling better. I feel like there's more of a gang tackle mentality out there. Last year, you saw a lot of one-on-ones in the open field, and that's the hardest thing to do in football defensively is bring down a skill player in the open field. And now this year, I feel like there's a lot more gang tackling, a lot more hustle to the ball, and it's gonna prove dividends for this defense overall with guys hustling to the ball, going after the ball. I think we're going to be in a definitely a new era of Dallas Cowboys defense.
I love it. Let's hear quickly from Connor Williams, who had a couple mistakes at center.
So when did you find out you were going to get to start in this game? Did you know going into it that you were going to be the starting center?
It was a second or last minute call, but it was just emphasis on getting me back up, center reps, obviously, and so getting in and getting those center reps in live rep situations, and it's obviously different from practice. Yeah.
You talked about there's so many things before snap, after snap, and all that. So a lot of factors involved. What we see, a couple of snaps you'd probably like to have back. Can you talk about those a little bit, and then we get into some of the other aspects of it as well?
Right. I think it's just getting in, like I said, that comfortability, that live rep situation, and obviously more practice, fine tuning the snap and everything, getting him perfect on cadence.
That's Connor Williams. And look, I think the biggest topic, the biggest piece really now is what is this offensive line going to look like? We know 4 of the 5. We talked with Brad Sham about that. But, I mean, the potential of this offense starts up front. And, again, we know 4 of 5. Will Biadasz start at center with Williams at left guard? Or are they confident enough with Williams at center, despite the mistakes that we saw in miscues in this game, because they love McGovern at left guard?
On that, do you feel he could be a center, or do you think his best position is a guard?
The problem is I really like McGovern out there, right? Yeah, but I like McGovern with Williams. I like the Connors. I'm not replacing Connor with Connor and going with Biadasz at center. So I'm with Broadus.
So do you feel like it's your best 5, or who gels the best?
Best 5. Well, that's a good question, because offensive line play is all about guys gelling together.
It's all about that gel.
It's all about the cohesion. Yeah. I mean, what do you think in terms of Biadasz or Connor?
I think
you drafted
right now, Biadasz may have a little leg up on him just because he's played the position a lot more and he's used to making the calls and the commands out there. But I like what I see. I like what I see from Connor as well. So it's like you said, is it the best unit, the best 5 players, or is it who has the most continuity together?
Football fans, on Saturday, August 28th at 2 p.m., come check out the next generation of stars as number 5 Longview takes on number 1 Denton.
They got about 6 more minutes before they shut it down. I ain't trying to put super glue on this thing to fix it, man. You drafted Tyler Biadasz to be your center, not your guard. You drafted him to be your center. You develop him. What happened? What if he's everything next year? What if he's everything next year? Don't waste this kid development time by experimenting. Don't do that to that kid. That's just all I'm saying. And if you like Connor McGovern, then I know what it is. I figured it out. I know what it is. They're trying to save face. At that guard position, if Connor McGovern is whooping Connor Williams, and shout out to Connor Williams at that spot, if he wins that spot, then he won that spot. That's just how that is. He may live to fight another day. But don't sell it to water by trying to move all of this thing, earth and planets around so that it can fit your spot there. But I don't want Ford to get hurt with the experimentations or the experiments. Let me know if I'm wrong. I could be flat out wrong, baby. I could be wrong. I could be flat out wrong, man. Let's see. Somebody said Biadasz. What round was Biadasz drafted in? Yeah. Let me see if they wrapping it up. They probably wrapping it up right now. Let's see.
Everything Dallas.
Yeah, they wrapping it up. Yeah. So, Rue, what's good with you? It's just don't wet this bed. Don't do that. Got it. Look, what they trying to do is not go through that growing pain. Biadasz must be scaring the hell out of them on something that we just don't see altogether in a full 60 snap type of situation. Now, Biadasz last season he played pretty well. I think one of those rankings, top 25 players, under 25. He was in that rankings, believe it or not. But they must see something that we can't see, that they trying to cover it a little bit or cover it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to cover it, you know. But my thing is, don't cover it. No. You got to go through it. You got to. That is what you got to do. 4th round pick, 146. Shout out to you, Eric Thomas. They gonna have to roll with Tyler Biadasz. Let him learn it. Front 5 right now: Tyron Smith, Connor Williams, Tyler Biadasz, Zach Martin, La'el Collins. That should be your front 5. That should be your front 5. Because with that, you're getting north of 10 years of experience with Tyron Smith. You're getting, 4 to 5 years of experience. Was it 4 years, right, with Connor Williams at that spot. You get now your 2nd year of experience with Tyler Biadasz. You get now north of 8 to 9 years of experience with Zach Martin, however he played in the league or what have you. I don't know his numbering. And I know you get 7 years of experience with La'el Collins. What I don't want to happen for the 2021 season is you get maybe 2 years of experience with a guard out of Connor McGovern, and you get 0 experiences out of Connor Williams at center. I don't want that. I don't want that. I just don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to digest that. No. What Luther said, Cowboy Nation? What did Luther say? Did Luther say love the one you with? Y'all let me know. Did Luther Vandross say love the one you with? Who with me on that? See, Caesar says, yeah, he with me on that one, y'all. I mean, you ride the horse you rode in on, Cowboy Nation. Don't try to change it. No, Joe Looney retired. Yeah, he did. You know, he played one practice over there at Giants Land. Said, "Oh, this blue is making me itchy. It's not the real Cowboys blue. Let me retire." Connor Williams is a swing tackle. That's it. Yeah, I mean, phew. Hey, Joey says, Luther said, leave La'el at left guard, at guard. I'm on record saying that, man, La'el is a good tackle right now. He's a good right tackle, Hall of Famer guard. Don't mess this up for Tyler Biadasz. Let him work his way in. Let him learn. Let him get some more experience under his belt. No, Christopher, Connor Williams at center. Put it like this. Connor Williams may be a world Hall of Famer at center right now. Not this year, and definitely not next year. It's going to take him another 4 years. Who got time to wait around for that, Nobody have time to wait for that, That's all I'm saying. He might be the greatest center of all time, Connor Williams. It's going to take him 3 more years to get there. Maybe 2, if he's good. Like I said, La'el Collins, great right tackle. Good right tackle. Good. Top in the NFL. But he would have been a Hall of Famer guard. Yeah. By now, woo! Shoot. Not to use highlights as a reference. I challenge you. Type in La'el Collins highlights. You won't see him at right tackle. You see the highlights at guard, pulling, going downfield, finding somebody to cream, finding somebody to just demolish, maul over them. laying on them all like this. You'll find also a DB running for his life. One of the ones you will see is him just going through the Seattle Sea Chickens. You know what I'm saying? just rolling all over Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman like, oh, dreadlock powers unactivated, you know. Yeah, David says he had Larry Allen's type of vibes, you know. And I'm not calling him Big L.A. No. But I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure Zach Martin would have been a Hall of Famer at any offensive line position. This would be the great. Zach Martin. Look, Zach Martin. That's what we. I don't even say Martin. That's Martin. Zach Martin. Cool dude, man. Cool dude all the way. Let me see if they still alive. That'd be crazy.
He's here. Okay, moving on. And then really, now that the preseason games are starting, it's all about Jordan Love. I mean, I cannot recall
Jordan Love. Okay, yeah, they go
in my lifetime.
Yeah, they gone, baby. They gone. Cowboy Nation, it's 2 o'clock. I know y'all on the East Coast. It's 3 o'clock. Y'all rocking with the Nation. Hey, tomorrow, I might not go live with it. I might enjoy the game on the big TV. But I'm watching them Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, later on today, it's at 6:30. I'm watching them after I watch Aretha, though. I got to go watch Aretha. Which Aretha did you guys like? Big Aretha or Little Aretha? She was on Little for a spell. Big Luther or Little Luther? Which one Luther y'all like too? Yeah. Yo, which Luther you guys like? Big Luther or Little Luther? Man, draws. PC 76 said, now I got to get the big ones. Yeah. Are we doing film session, Joey? I would chop up some film observation. Keanu Neal, I'll take a look at that play. Maybe I do series of chops up of films. I want to see if I can get all of Nashawn Wright film assessment. Maybe I do it as an individual, as instead of the entire game. I know last time I did the film observation, it was 23 minutes long. Some people can't sit back and watch 23 minutes of my film and digest all of that. So maybe I just do like some 5 to 6 minute segments of each. You know, I had multiple people. I like to read your comments. I like to get feedback from you all. And I might just do it that way. How about that? You know, yeah, just individual player. If I have time, let's do it that way. Because when I do it, Perry Locke says, Big Luther. Shout out to Big Luther. Big Luther was singing, boy. Big Luther, boy. Miss Franklin was all good. Yeah, Aretha. It was a good movie. Mike and Mary, so it was a good one. I won't get bored of it. Jennifer Hudson played in there, right? Shout out to Jennifer Hudson, yeah. Yes, I'm going to do individuals. I believe, yeah, so see, Albert, yeah, you say Albert Flores says individuals. See, I love feedback from you guys, man. That's why I love y'all. Individuals. So that way it could be like a card catalog, and then you can go right to Nashawn Wright, and then you can go right to Boss Man Fat. Then you can go right to see what Neil did, and then you can go right to see let me see who else we could do. Cedric Wilson, Neil, Wright, Boss Man Fat. See all I'm doing for y'all? And who else individually? D-line. I can do D-line as a whole. Osa, Bo. Who else we can do? 56. Yeah, we can just do them as a whole. So it'll be a D-line observation. It will be okay. Yeah, I can do it. I can crap up something. Craft it all the way up, Cowboy Nation. April Showers. I wish I could sing like Luther. And Luther was just, a chair is not a chair. You know, he would just sing something about a house. And then he would just, and people just sit there, wow, this man sung about a chair. If no one's sitting there, you know, shout out to Luther, man. You know, I wish I had those special powers. May he rest in peace, man. All right, Cowboy Nation, that's all the time that I have for this moment. I'm going to give me some well rest, and I will be up in the AM, and we'll have some of this film assessment out for you all. Let's continue to grind and shine, baby. Let's go. Y'all know I can't end it without this. But wrap your mind around it, Cowboy Nation. The gravitations of your heart, soul, and sinew, and everything else. I try to say this on all of my closings because I know that it can touch one person. But it's all about the thoughts and how you push your mind out and how bad that you want it. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold all other things tawdry and cheap for it, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all terror of God or man for it, if you would simply, just simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, or famish, or fame, or sickness, or body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset it with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation, guess what? You can get it. Turn me up. Yeah.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
This is Sparta!
Yeah. I love this part. I love it. But
I want me some glory hole.
Yeah. I'm gonna be up for another 2 hours now. Yeah.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blingin' she freeze. Photo, please, no photos.
They call me all nighter, baby. Come on.
Hit the door and the domain just whole team here might need some. Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up a way till I producer saw the numbers one. Different colors in my baggy light. Chalk it up, talk of the town where you're talking up. Wanna get you a ring and you tough enough. Wanna get you new things
all
in
your
pocket
water,
up. Run it up. I used to be quiet and out of luck. Now I move up and move humble cause the hate and the jealousy. My mama telling me count up your blessings and run it up. Nowadays nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody
hit that like button, share this content. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk to me on.
No, please, no photos. I keep giving game away. I put game on layaway. I got paid to play today. I get paid to stay away. I get paid on rainy days. I might make it rain today.
No Sleep Nation.
Let's go to take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up. Ooh, now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching.
Late night rolling.
Now you're all on live acting surprised, but you was fooled. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news. Now you got the pen and pad, you're trying to take my moves. Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ring, I ran up a check, I might do it again.
Tell them, baby, Root Clock. Continue to grind and shine, baby.
To the end, crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up,
let's go. Let's go. We out, baby. Appreciate y'all for jumping in and tuning in. Let's go. As the world spins. Shout out to everybody that watched this post-game show. If you have not liked this channel at this point,
told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I'm a cop of farm, and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month.
if you have not shared this content to your contemporaries, your friends, your neighbors, your foes,
don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault. I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low.
Tell him oh, it's DJ Long Time, baby, now. Yeah.
Everything is on me.
Hey. If you don't like the nation,
you must be out of your goddamn mind. Everything is on me, or you matter what.
That must be you, right? Come on.
Why you hating on me? It's not adding up.
Come on, Cowboy Nation. Come on, grind out to this beat. If you think the Cowboys not going to the Super Bowl, you must be out your goddamn mind, too. Let's go. All right. I'm out for real, baby. Love y'all. One love all day, every day. Don't forget to post down where you from. Shout out to everybody who provided the fire and the desire of your heart, soul, and mind as we continue to grind this week. Well, next week, we'll see some Cowboys, more preseason games. Let's go. We out. Peace.
Take a drag of my cigarette.
Yeah. Shout out to the lunatic. Yeah. Appreciate you. You a real one.
Yeah. Take a bite of my
the 904. Come on. Shout out to everybody. Lance, Trey, Steven, Milton. All alone. Joe Kelly.
You know it's dangerous.
Christopher. I see you, fam. Randolph.
Don't let the street lights hit you.
Yeah. Lord willing, I'll be at practice on Monday at 6 o'clock. I'll be out there a little earlier. Appreciate you. PC 76. Let's go. We all in the mix, baby. Let's grind.
7 years of a perfect love. 7 more and another one. And another one. Fighting you was the one.
Mike and Mary, appreciate you. Let's go. Come on. Travis, let's go.
Don't let the street lights hit you all alone.
Don't let the street lights hit y'all.
You know it's dangerous.
Purple Soul, salute to you. BD Gray.
Don't let the street lights hit you.
Dallas Lee, let's go. Play the tune. We out.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, play it too.
DC for life.
If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, fly on.
on, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
I want me some glory hole.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?